Welcome back to the show. What's the show called again? We stole this one, right? Yeah.
We're hijacking this one. This one is called Ben, and it's Baker Rangers and Baker Rangers Movie Talks. I am Ben, and I'm also joined by Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben too. Welcome back, Ben.
Nice.
Welcome back to the Movie Talks.
Ben. Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, no, gotta go.
No, hey, no, you guys get back over here right now.
Oh,
fine.
Okay. But yes, we are on another exciting episode of Baker Ranger Movie Talks. And
wait, you have to say it right. You have to say it right. We're another exciting episode of Baker Ranger Movie Talks.
Generic
well,
name.
Actually,
here.
I will have to correct you because it's technically Movie Talk.
Okay, fine.
But
I'll do it again.
Movie Talks. But
welcome back to another episode of zeotohero presents Baker Ranger Movie Talks.
Damn, just have to put our name
it's
in
Baker Rangers.
See, oh, fine, I'll do it again.
Okay.
Baker Ranger Movie Conversation.
That's the next level. That's the adult version.
But,
after dark.
All right, since we butchered that one real bad, let's let Ben finish this intro off.
I thought you were Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
God dang it.
Ben,
so
Ben, and Benny.
is that Book and Skull or Billy and Jimmy, the Book and Skull of podcasting over here?
Yes, it is. And actually, you don't see it now, and the listeners on the podcast don't, but on YouTube, you guys are Billy it says the Skull of podcast. Normally I have it as zeotohero host, but I'm labeling Billy the Skull of podcasting and then Jim the Book of podcasting. So
I take that with a moniker of pride.
Yeah. So I had thought about it whenever I was setting up this podcast. So yes, I am Ben, the real Ben from Baker Rangers, and this is Baker Rangers Movie Talk, where we talk about movies we love, and have a good time. And yes, I am here today with my special guests, Billy and Jim. I guess in that order would be the Skull and Bulk of podcasting. So
well, we got the names mixed up because of our family. And you said special how?
Yeah, funny how?
Huh?
Funny, haha, not fun. I mean,
you laugh with us or you laughing at us? Which one?
Why can't I do both? Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, today we are talking about Pacific Rim. Being a Power Rangers-esque site with tokusatsu, kaiju is a big thing. Even though this is American kaiju, but it was a fun ride.
It's Del Toro, who likes anime, loved Evangelion, liked Gundams, liked giant monsters, including Godzilla, and wanted to make a really fun action blockbuster movie in the summer that no one thought was going to do well.
This is the high point of basically live action giant robot fighting.
Oh yeah. This
so
it had Charlie Day in it. Come on, man.
Come on.
Charlie Day's in it.
That's the only reason why I watched it.
Alba's in it. Oh, come on.
Hey, because there is no Pepe.
There is no Pepe.
For all that those don't know, Charlie Day also played a character named Charlie and Always Sunny. And that was my favorite episode, is when he was in the mailroom.
That was great.
There is no Pepe.
And then
was that the episode that the meme comes from?
Yes,
where he's like smoking. He's like, what? Why?
There's a bunch of red lines everywhere.
Yeah.
There was never a Pepe. The people up top are talking about it. Where's my mail? Where's my
Charlie? There is a Pepe, and there's 16 people up there asking where's my mail. Well, good thing we have been fired.
Yeah.
A few days ago.
They kept recycling in the system their firing paperwork and stuff. It was really great.
Great show.
I've only seen little segments.
Rim.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, we'll stick with this Pacific Rim because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I remember watching it the first time with my jaw slacked open the entire time.
Only because he was having a stroke.
No, it was because I was having a stroke.
Are you sure you're not having one now?
He's having one now, yeah.
What?
But anyways, so yes, Ben, dive us into this one.
All right, so
You want to
Pacific
pilot
Rim.
this one?
Well, it takes two to make things go right.
Well, unless you're a Crimson Typhoon, you got 3.
Ooh.
That's
I could go there.
Okay,
I
that's
really
all
like
right.
this movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah,
Really
it's. I seen the second one when it came out, but I haven't seen the first one till just now. But it's a fun movie. Basically, kaiju start appearing and destroying cities, and no one knows what's going on, and so
Humans have to make their own monsters.
Yes.
It's a quote from the movie. It's great. Like, we had to make our own monsters. I'm like, whoa.
I do like the beginning of the movie. It kind of like just dives right into like a documentary style.
It's not. They made the movie because they're like, people aren't stupid. They're gonna know what's gonna happen. Like, we're just gonna give kind of a backstory and then jump into it because that's what they did. And the world feels lived in. Okay, I'm gonna go on these huge tangents in this movie because I really like this movie a lot.
All right, well, save them for later.
Okay, so like the director Del Toro, the guy who did Hellboy 1 and 2 and Pan's Labyrinth, knows people aren't dumb. So the whole movie is set up to be lived in. Like, you're not getting an explainer for every little thing that's happening. They're just doing stuff they need to do. And it's great. Okay, continue.
Yeah, and you really don't need an explainer. Monsters, people need to fight the monsters with big robots. They fight, and then human story. So,
and then you have cities built out of dinosaur bones or out of monster bones.
Yeah. And it's kind of a different take. Like, later on in our history, when they did the American Godzilla movie in 2016, they went to a more simplistic approach, just the human story. But this is just full on.
You get to see a giant robot punch a monster in the face multiple times. With a plasma cannon.
Yeah, because this is a movie that kind of shows you what you can do to turn, maybe, because normally anime does not translate well onto
live action. Yeah,
live action.
No.
I think Del Toro might be the type of person that could make that work. Because this is essentially like Gundam, but without flying robots. I guess they can fly here and there.
Yeah, they can fall with style.
Yes.
Thank you, Buzz. Or Woody. Woody's the one who's like, that's falling with style. But yeah, so these monsters, these kaiju, attack cities, kill people, basically eliminate the resources of these big cities. And so they create these suits called
Jaegers.
Why are
it's a German word. It's a German word for monster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I love how they classify them too, because like they'll say, "Hey, this is a class 5, the fastest Jaeger."
Oh, sorry, Hunter, not monster, Hunter. Sorry,
Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but there's multiple classes of Jaeger. There's 1 through 5 that we see in the first movie,
and same goes for kaiju too. There's categories for them.
Yep, and they go to the category 6 in the movie, and there's a category
5. They go to category 5.
Sorry, I was thinking of the second movie. There's a category 6 in the second movie, but yeah, there's 5 categories in the first movie, and they're huge. Like, and these things are all massive. Like, they are monsters, like big monsters. Like, they are bigger than buildings, and they destroy buildings like no one's business. Like, because they're huge, and so that they make these Jaegers that are huge. They're just, and then they do scaling really well. Like, so there's like the intro scene where you first time like the Gypsy Danger is coming back, and you see like this like grandpa and his like grandson like on the beach. And you see them, and you see the Jaeger come up, and they're not even above his like toe line. They're just, and they could walk in the ocean because they're so big. Oh,
yeah,
so cool.
And the storyline is actually really good. Like, you go from a guy getting basically neuro-linked ripped, and like has to feel his brother's death, and then how he survives only running the machine on his right hemisphere.
Yeah, and like only one of the person's ever done that before.
It's very dark and gritty, and I really love it for that.
And it's dark and gritty, but they expect you to realize what it is because they tell you that they do a brain sync basically to run the Jaegers, and then you see the brother die. You're like, oh hey, aren't they still late? And they don't really bring it up the fact that he felt his brother die until later in the movie, but then you realize he has trauma before that. He's like, he has trauma about this.
I say the first 30 minutes, it takes you on a roller coaster of emotions of how like these pilots become heroes and like celebrities, and then it downfalls to we're done. We're gonna cut the program. We're gonna build walls, and then bam, here comes a monster through a wall, and then you can feel it in the scene. It's like, why are we building these walls then?
Yeah, like everyone, like you had that moment, like, oh wait, they're doing this Pacific Rim wall, and then it just breaks through the wall. You're like, why? It was a complete section of the wall.
It was a complete section in Australia.
Walls? Yeah, and then you get to see you Striker Eureka, and that the fastest Jaeger,
fastest Jaeger.
Yeah, that was cool.
But
yeah, so you get this interpersonal story, and then you get like this overarching government plot to kind of like build these walls because the only thing they think of is going to work is just like, oh cool, like we'll make these walls, but these Jaegers keep getting bigger and bigger, and okay.
So let's think. All right, so Ben, what do you think how the story is? So there's going to be basically like 3 main characters in this movie. You're going to have the main guy where his brother dies. I cannot remember their names.
Yancey.
Yancey?
Yeah.
So you're going to have him. You're going to have the general, and then the general's adopted daughter.
But Raleigh, not Yancey.
Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh. You have Mako, Raleigh, and Stacker. Pentecost.
Okay. Pentecost. So, what do you think, Ben, of this idea? Because most of the time, most movies are going to have like 1 or 2 protagonists or main characters.
Well, I think a lot of these type of like summer blockbuster disaster type movies typically do have more characters in them, so there's more kind of more going on, I guess, so they can make a more human story with the characters, like you see with Independence Day. Basically anything that I forgot for Roland Emmerich makes. He's got like a million characters
tomorrow.
So yeah, but each character is different. Each character has their own little backstory. Each character serves their purpose differently. Like with Mako, you don't exactly know what's going on with her.
You get a full story with her too. I love that. Like she's like a side character, but she becomes her own full character by the end of the movie, and she's a great character too. And she has a lot of trauma she's dealing with, and then her relationship with Stacker, Pentecost it's gorgeous. Oh my god, it's a great like parent-daughter relationship. Yeah, and then you got you got Raleigh. Raleigh was a fun character. And then how he said words with that Southern-esque drawl that's like Southern California-ish drawl kind of thing. It was such a weird way how he said things.
His accent was very rough because isn't he English?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, because when I was watching it, like the biggest knock on it is just like I don't think he knew what kind of accent he wanted. So he sounded like at every scene he sounded. I got confused because with some of the characters. I don't know if this can be considered racist because it is because they're white. Like all the white guys look the same in this movie. So I kind of got confused who was who through most of the movie. But especially since you had Australian guys and this guy who's you can tell is not American. That's trying to do some sort of American accent,
off American accent, and just he does the intro speech as well, and the accent's just all over the place, and it's so fun because, well, come on, like, he's been piloting. He felt his brother die. He's been piloting this Jaeger for a while. He's been all over the wall. He's been all over the world with this wall. So maybe his accent might be a little different. So I think it kind of makes sense for the story a little bit.
Yeah,
like. Everything is done on purpose in this movie. Like everything's done on purpose.
And I love how they get him back to pilot and they find him and they're like, hey, we want you to come back. And he's like, am I your last choice? He's like, he was like, you're my first choice because all the other choices are dead.
Like, yeah, you're my first choice. Really?
all the others
Everyone else is dead.
Everyone else dead. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Of what remains, you're my first choice. Yeah.
exactly. And that warms my heart.
Pentecost. He's played by Idris Elba, and he nails this role of this
big
stern
time.
older guy who is at the end of his line. Like, he's done. Like, there's nothing left after this, and he plays the part so well that you're seeing this guy play all his cards. He has all his cards on the table. This is the last straw.
Yeah.
He's losing funding. There's
He's
only
dying.
four. There's only 4 Jaegers left. He's done. That's it.
He has like an ultimatum at the very end. Spoiler warning. But yes.
I'm sure the spoilers kind of go out the window already. We kind of gave a lot away.
It's a 2013 movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, and you're listening to this, and you're into the stuff we're into, come on, man.
Watch it before you listen.
A little late on that one, but
a little late there, man.
Hey, yes, but I can edit this somehow to put that in front. I probably won't, but I could if I wanted to.
Okay.
All
right.
So we get to the last Shatter Dome in Hong Kong. All right. So we get to that one. So they take one. That's where you first meet Mako, and you see the Jaegers, the rest of the Jaegers. You see, you see Terno Alpha, which is like Generation 1 Jaeger, and it feels heavy because it's a Russian Jaeger, and it's just practically heavy because it's gonna just beat down things, and it was so cool. And then you have you have Gypsy Danger, that's but you don't get to see that just yet. And you see Crimson Typhoon, which requires 3 pilots because it has 3 arms, and then Strike Eureka, which we just talked about. And then you have the random reveal of Gypsy Danger, and Gypsy Danger is just gorgeous.
Old school, Class 3, nuclear,
and mechanically
powered.
driven. So everything's mechanical. And I love the fact, so they do this pan up of Gypsy Danger, and you can see like these knuckle tattoos and stuff on the hands, like these little markings everywhere, like personalizations of every piece of this Jaeger. And then later, like they do the scene where like he punches through a wall and like the fist stops, and you can see like the knuckle tattoos and stuff on the knuckles, and it warms my heart because they put so much time and effort to making this Jaeger just look as built as possible by people with nothing left, and it looks amazing. And the soundtrack, that drum like bass, like boom, when they show Gypsy Danger.
Oh yeah,
I had a nice time watching this movie again.
Soundtrack is amazing.
So we get to that point, and then you Pentecost is like, well, we need a second pilot for Gypsy Danger. You're gonna be piloting it, and with you piloting it, we need to have one other person. With Raleigh piloting it, they need one other person to pilot it, and so they're going through and they're doing
training.
No, it's Boca fighting. The Boca fighting.
Yeah.
And it's not actually fighting; it's just a dance. Like they're trying to dance, and
dance fighting like in Jumanji.
Yeah, it's because the whole concept of piloting the Jaegers is you're supposed to mesh really well together.
It's true. You gotta have a vibe.
They're going through. Yeah, you have to vibe. You have to kind of be able to tell each other, like figure each other out. And the only person, like everyone's like failing constantly, and he's Maku's like just being a prissy looking lady about like yeah, and he's like, what's the problem? It's like, well, I could do this better than you. Like I can do this better than anyone else. And this is where you first start seeing Pentecost going, no, she's not a pilot. No. And then they finally get to their Boca match, and it works out really well. And they're really compatible. And Raleigh's like, no, she's my pilot. Like she's perfect. And Striker's Pentecost is like, no, not gonna happen, not a chance. But then the next day,
you don't know why he's being so protective.
Yeah, he's like, no, not gonna happen. And then they have another talk, and then he comes into Gypsy Danger the next day to do like sinking training with his new partner, and it's Mako. Yeah. and that she has her own traumas, and then this is actually where you find out why her traumas are, is that everyone she knows dies. Everyone she knew died, and you get to see Pentecost in a original Jaeger, and if I remember the name of it, it is called what is it called? It's called Brawler Yukon was the one he was piloting, I believe. Or Coyote Tango. Coyote Tango is the one he was piloting. And because it has that really distinctive, like every Jaeger's distinctive as well. They're all different looking. And you get to see it, it's like this big blocky mech. And and then that's what we see there. Then the Kaiju attack Hong Kong. Oh man!
The fight scene is absolutely beautiful,
and we see these Jaegers are evolving. So we get to the fight, and one of the Jaegers has an EMP blast on it. Okay, so one can shoot acid and destroy whatever it touches. So Alpha Chernobyl's out there. It's an old school mech. It's going out there. It's about to whoop some serious butt, and it gets acid spit in his face, and it starts melting all like the head components. And they go for a takedown, and they're gone. Striker, you get Crimson Typhoon goes out there. They get knocked out by the EMP blast, including with Striker Alpha or Striker Eureka, and then Crimson Typhoon gets taken out, and then you get Eureka 7 oh my goodness, Striker Eureka, the pilots are like, well, we either sit here and die or we can go up there and piss something off. And they climb out with flare guns, and they're looking at this and they're staring down this kaiju, and they shoot flare guns into his eyes, and it's hilarious because like one makes it, the other one just kind of goes off. And then Gypsy Danger shows up.
Well, I think that's like one of the coolest entrants too, because as it shows up like with that ship. Is that the one? Yeah.
No, that's when he's going to go fight them in the city. So they're on the Miracle Mile at this point. So they're still in the ocean. Okay. And one of them's going after Charlie Day, or the professor, because he synced himself with a Jaeger mind, with a kaiju mind.
Like
one of the subbrains. Yeah, when the subbrains synced up with that, they find out that's not a good idea, because then you're now linked to the kaijus and they can track you. And so they're sending so you find out all these kaijus are actually interconnected. Like they are like a fleet.
It's like a computer system in a sense.
Yeah, they're a clone. They're clones. So they're clones. Off of one.
And they keep getting bigger and better to take down each and every Jaeger, because they see what happens to them. They're like, oh, hey, this one died because of this. Well, guess what? We're going to send something that can spit acid and do EMP blast. And voila, they send those, and that's what kills them.
Oh, and the guy's name also is not Charlie, it's Newton.
Yeah, Newton. Yeah. Sorry,
the scientist.
Yeah, Doctor something, and everyone just calls him Newton. And so you find that you meet Hannibal. Like you have to go find this guy named Hannibal, because they have to find another brain, because they found out so much information from the first time they did the sync with the brain. So they're like, we need to go find another. So you gotta go find this dude named Hannibal. And we find out that Pentecost has been dealing with this black market guy, because that's the only way he can get funding for the Jaegers. It was through the black market guy, because no other government's giving them money.
To do it,
yeah, they don't care anymore. They wanted the wall. Yeah. They want a wall. It's a wall. Apparently, it works, and it doesn't.
It doesn't. Well, and they proved even before that it doesn't work, but they were still gonna.
Yeah, they're still going with it, because keep on. Whatever. And so the story is not super complex. It's not.
No.
It's no. They want giant robots fighting giant bots.
It's pretty much blockbuster. So
yeah, it's pretty much out there.
It's an intelligent movie, but it's not super complex. So we watched Newt go into Bone Alley, which is a city built around old kaiju bones, because they're massive, they're huge, and we get to watch. We get to watch him looking for Hannibal, and Hannibal is played by Hellboy. Ron Perlman's in this movie. And I didn't know this. I went to go watch this movie the first time. I did not realize this, and I'm like, is that
him.
Ron damn Perlman?
And what's out of the whole movie? What's the one phrase that sticks with him?
Oh, where's my goddamn shoe?
Where's my boot?
Where's my goddamn boot?
That's the last thing you see of his.
That's the last thing you see. Oh god, it's great. Okay, but yeah, we got Gypsy Danger, and so he defeats the one that spits acid. So let's go. He rips out the one that does the gland that does the EMP blast. So rips that out, kills the one that spits acid, and then the one that got its throat ripped out was going to go find Newt, because that's what they're going to looking for Newt. And this is where you get that scene where he's dragging the Gypsy Danger's dragging the ship along as a sword.
Yeah,
the container
awesome.
ship.
Just the big old container ship just dragging along as a sword, and I'm like, and then just a battle royale.
That just is like one of the most colorful scenes I've seen in a long time.
It's in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's in Hong Kong, and it's gorgeous because it contrasts so well, because the mechs are dark. All right, the mechs are all dark. I know they're colored are like red, green, blue, silver, but they're darkly contrasted, and so are the kaiju, and the lighting from the city contrasts so well with these monsters. The pinks, and they're all fluorescent, like they're all like neon colors, and it works so well because the kaiju have this like neon blue light that radiates off them, and it just looks it's one of the best it's one of the best giant robot scenes you're ever going to see on any medium, like any of them, like SSS Gridman, Evangelion, Gundam, any like giant mech anime, like doesn't hold a candle to what Del Toro does with Gypsy Danger versus this kaiju.
The one thing I just can't get past is how it's just always raining.
Oh yeah, it's always raining.
It's true.
Well, you have the last fight underwater, and then the other ones are all raining. And the rule of cool is every fight in the rain looks really cool.
Yeah,
it's basically it's for the just the atmosphere. It creates like more tension if it's raining.
Yeah,
yeah.
So look, we get to this giant mech fight, and like they're about to win, but then the kaiju opens its wings and flies up and carries off Gypsy Danger. They get all the way up, and then they use a sword to just cut it in half and fall back to Earth. And you ask yourself, why don't they use a sword more often? Because it's very effective, right? It's a super effective weapon. It just cuts anything in half, right? But there's this stuff called Jaeger, Kaiju Blue. It's their blood, and it poisons everything it touches. So up to this point in the movie, you see them punching and plasma canning a lot of things in the face, because it cauterizes any kind of wound, and so none of the blood gets out. And you slice something in half, guess what happens? All the blood falls with it.
Yeah, so that's why they sliced it in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah, and they fall to Earth, and you see this really cool scene of a Jaeger just falling to Earth and just like surviving that fall, because these Jaegers are basically monsters and indestructible gods. It just falls to Earth and just boom into the ground. It looks
Which
so
you
cool.
do see again in the second movie, the same kind of concept.
Yeah, but it's not nearly as cool. Like the first one, the first time you see it, it just looks amazing. Okay, so
I thought this was Ben's show.
Yeah, I know. What happened, Ben?
Oh, you guys took it over from the beginning, and it's your favorite movie, Jim. So one of your favorite movies.
It's one of my favorite.
I enjoy just listening to you talk about it. So you can ramble as much as you want.
All right, so we'll run through the rest of the story real quick, and then we'll talk about stuff we liked about this movie.
I'm pretty sure Ben's got a picture of your face on the wall. He does those darts at night.
I believe this entirely.
No, that's just the punching bag.
Wait, is it 2 punching bags? Those are the size of 2. You can't just have one up there.
Well, there's a few voodoo dolls.
That explains so much.
Yeah, there's a poster on the wall, but I have those like throwing daggers instead of darts.
Oh, okay.
I'll do with throwing stars, but okay.
They're called shurikens.
Sure, Billy.
Jesus Christ.
Sure. Hey, Con.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay, continuing with this movie. So you see Strike Eureka's pilot, the young pilot, so the dad and the son. The young pilot is disrespecting Mako because she's new. They had an issue because they wouldn't have They wouldn't have had an issue if Mako would have figured herself out a little sooner and like got out there. They wouldn't have lost 2 other mechs. And so he's being a piece of words to Mako. And like Raleigh, like he was like started with Raleigh, he's like, I don't care, talk whatever you want about me, but you say anything to her, no. And he just whoops that guy's butt. It's great. Because it proves that Raleigh knows what he's doing. Like he's experienced, he knows exactly what he's doing. Don't mess with him because he knows what he's doing. Leave him alone. Do your job. Get over it. That's why Pentecost came and talked to him, because he knows what he's doing. And so now you have this. So something else shows up where they're starting to a Category 5 is expected to come out of the rift, where the monsters have been coming from. And you have this issue, though. This kid who got his butt whooped is now injured. He can't pilot his Jaeger. And then you find out that Pentecost can pilot a Jaeger. He's like, oh, I can pilot a Jaeger. And you saw him in Maku's history. Like you saw in her vision or her past that he can pilot a Jaeger. You didn't find out as well. He's radioactive. Completely radioactive. And like up to this point of the movie, he'd been seeing like his nose start bleeding randomly. And because he's pure radiation, like he's dying. This is his trump card. This is everything he has. Because that's it. He can't do anything after this. He's done. He's done for. And there's a really funny scene where Raleigh grabs him by the arm, and Pentecost is like, first rule, never touch me. Second rule, you never touch me. And it makes sense because he's freaking radioactive. Mm-hmm. Don't ever touch him. You'll get radiation poisoning. You touch him. It's like,
technically, scientifically speaking, if he was radioactive, you shouldn't go near him.
Yeah, you shouldn't be close to him.
Yeah.
But you find out that
actually he'd already be dead if he was radioactive.
Yeah.
But...
Well, so Mark 1 Jaegers didn't have radiation shielding. Like didn't have it because they were just trying to pump him out because these giant monsters of the loot destroying everything. So trying to pump these things out and like all those testing. And he was one of the first pilots. Like the first the mech you see was a Mark 1 Jaeger, and it makes sense why he's such a and he can't have children, so Mako's his daughter. And well, now you find he can have children in the second movie, but the first movie you don't see any children. Mako's his daughter, and he doesn't want to lose her like he's like everyone else. She's lost, and he's lost. He's lost everybody, and he's on the end of his line, man. He's done. Like this is it. That's why he's so hell bent on making this mission work, because it's the last mission, and if it works, it's done. There's no more kaiju. We're good until the second movie.
When there's more.
There's more. And so their idea is to strap a nuke to the back of Strike Eureka. And there's just this moment where the dad is talking to his son about stuff and like how life is like different. Like, you never expect life to be what you expect it to be and stuff. Like this really good speech between father and son, because you find out that it's a suicide mission because they strap a nuclear bomb to the back of Strike Eureka to go blow up this rift. And it's a gut-wrenching moment because you just saw these like older guys like talking and like this, it's their last straw. Like that's it, done. And you're like, these parental figures are leaving us. Let me rephrase my statement. It was the dad who got hurt, not the son. So the dad's left. Not the son. The son's going to go die, and
he's
with
got to sacrifice himself. Yeah, so his dad's got to watch him die
because he got hurt in Eureka. We see he unstrapped himself, and he got hit. They got hit, and he got flying into the wall. So let me phrase myself. I want to make sure I'm correct on that one. Let's go back 5 minutes. And yeah, so like this dad's watching his son go off to die with Pentecost, and like. It's not supposed to be a super serious movie, but there's these moments where you're like, spicy meatball.
Yeah, they put some emotion in, and
there's some emotion in it. And so they're underwater, like they have to go to this rift underwater, like they're marching underwater. These two humongous Jaegers are just marching underwater to the rift, and it looks really, really cool. It's just like submerging. Oh, and then you find out like normal stuff can't go through the rift. You have to have a kaiju to go through the rift, and so they set off the nuke. Eureka, Striker Eureka is gone, and you see like the nuke like explode, and like all the water gets pushed out because some nuclear explosions do. Like it's actually based on what happened underwater during the bikini Ebola test.
I thought you were talking about Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, that's where they based the cartoon off. Like SpongeBob is based off the Bikini Iola, that area. So
I thought it was like an actual bikini bottom, like the bottoms of a swimsuit.
yes. This show's for kids, man.
Yes, but
so
but
you see
everything
this
else
explosion.
is not.
You see this explosion, and it actually like physically moves the water like all the way, and you see Gypsy Danger just get hit by this nuclear explosion and still standing afterwards because they're just giant mechs that are designed to take on nuclear explosions. It's so cool. And so it uses the sword again on the category 5 that came through, slips in with the category 5, goes back through the rift, and because the nuke didn't do it, it didn't do anything. So they go back to the rift and they realize that Gypsy Danger is nuclear, like it's still powered by a nuke as well.
Yep.
And so they set the nuke off and they jettison themselves, and it ends with the scene where Maku and Raleigh hug each other. They don't kiss. They don't get together. And I thought that was awesome because it wasn't a love story. It was a friendship story between them. Like there wasn't really any feelings there. It was them just being really good friends because they had to be compatible to, drive the Jaeger. And then
which
you get
is something that I really love. Sorry, I mean,
no, you get.
cut you off because
I loved it too because
yeah,
not every relationship has to be romantic. It doesn't have to be.
No.
Platonic friends are platonic friends. Like we all know.
And there's not enough of that in movies. Like I
not.
feel like we are just oversaturated where you have to ship everything. Everything's got to be shipped.
Yeah.
And me and Ty talked about this on our Lord of the Rings one, where Peter Jackson like created relationships in the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbits movies that wasn't in the books. It kind of worked for Lord of the Rings, but it really didn't work for Hobbit to have the love triangle thing with
I don't know why the Hobbit was 3
elves
movies.
and the dwarf. But no, it should have been 2.
Should have been 2 max. Okay, but continuing back.
Anywho, continue. Sorry.
Then we get a really cool line where Hannibal's like, "Where's my goddamn shoe?" And there's a whole subplot between Hannibal and like a baby Jaeger, a baby kaiju, and like him being eaten by. It's really funny. It's hilarious. Newt's great. And so there's like a baby. There's a baby kaiju that eats Hannibal, and when he gets sucked into his mouth, this shoe goes flying off, and then like he cuts himself out. And he's like, "Where's my goddamn shoe?" All right, so that's the movie.
The reference in the beginning of size comparison.
Yeah.
So when they were at the rift and that category 5 comes out,
it was like 3 times the size of Gypsy Danger.
Yeah, so it's size comparison from the beginning. So the guys, the kid and the grandpa were so small. Well, at the end, the kaiju comes out and makes that Jaeger look like the grandpa.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
And I love that too. I love how it swam up out of the rift, and you're just like, when will it end?
Yeah, it's like swimming out of the rift. You're like, whoa. Because up to this point, you've seen some pretty big monsters, but you haven't seen anything like this. And they've progressively gotten bigger. So, like, you're expecting to be kind of big, not that big. You're like,
yeah, because it's like at least twice the size of a class 4 kaiju.
Yeah, they're twice the size. Yeah, and so it actually makes you like, oh, they might actually lose because you just saw them take like a nuke and didn't really care. Okay, so that's basically the movie. The soundtrack's amazing. The graphics are gorgeous. Everything's well thought out. And this is really cool part I love about this movie is the cockpits for the pilots are physical cockpits. Like they actually had to physically move all those parts. Like each strain step you see, they actually strain to step. Like every single Del Toro was not having any they're like, I will use as little CGI in this movie as possible. And the only CGI you really get are the Jaeger kaiju fights. It's really about it. The rest of it is as much practical effects as possible, including so there's a scene where Newt's in a bunker and like the tongue for the kaiju comes in and it's like sniffing around for him, and like it has like this tendrils and stuff to come out, and that's all practical. Like that's all like wire work and stuff. Like it was not CGI put in. Like it's all practical. Del Toro does such good work. He did Hellboy 1 and 2, Blade 2, which was awesome.
I like the
Pan's
design
Labyrinth, it's
too of
gorgeous.
the cockpits as well, because they were like open pits too. So when you saw them walking, their gears were turning underneath them.
It was physically turning gears underneath them. Like it was
Physically.
all physical. Because they went through like 45 iterations of those cockpits because they're like, oh yeah, we'll just put it in CGI, like make a box, put it in CGI, it's fine.
No.
And Del Toro's like, no, no, this is going to be physical. And so like they put like foot pads in there. He's like, no, this is going to be a real thing. Like we want spheres. I want spheres. I want them in the box. I want them there. I want them to strain to move.
Yeah. They showed the actual pictures. Like there's the massive. They were massive, actual built. Cockpits.
And then they had the lady who did the voice for Gladys from Portal 1 and Portal 2. She came and they actually had her do the voice for all the command stuff within the Shadow Dome and stuff, which was pretty funny. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Gladys. Wait. Like, hold on. So yeah, and then like all the little details, like the fact that the triplets who piloted Crimson Typhoon, like they played basketball together because they required to be able to play, like, you know, do stuff in correlation to their triplets, and like how the body moves. So like the arm, like the back arm could be like the front arm, like it could spin the whole body, or like the upper torso all the way around to get a better adjustment on the arms. That was cool. Like, and all three arms had like blades in them, like circle saw blades in them, and like cut into things. But the only one would ever use it at a time. Oh, pristine. And then you got Terno Alpha, which was huge, and like it moves so slow because it was the heaviest unit ever made, and it was designed to take a beating. And it looked messed up. Like the first time you see it's just beat up. Like there's dents, there's scratches everywhere because it was a Generation 1 and it's been around forever. Just gorgeous looking. And then you have Striker Eureka, which is the new one, and it doesn't have as many battle scars. It's really fast, super lightweight. It looks lightweight. Then you got Gypsy Danger. It is the danger. Gypsy Danger.
Sounds like a band from the 70s.
Right?
Yeah. A tribute band.
Yeah.
And like all the Jaeger names are really cool. Like all of them, like Brawler Yukon, Cody Tango, Diablo Intercept, Solar Prophet, Puma Real, Eden Assassin. They have these really cool names for all the Jaegers. And so just like they put work into making the story. They put work into making the world around the story. So you have Pacific Rim, and then they built an entire world. Like, so before the movie came out, all they had a bunch of information about the Jaegers and all the kaijus, like surface of line on like a website, and so you can look at all the stuff and like you can read stuff about like what certain things happen. Like we knew about Kaiju Blue before the movie actually came out because it was on the website and talked about how it caused environmental damage and stuff. We knew about that before the movie even came out. And like they were talking about cities built around these bones that are left from these, you know, these kaijus and stuff like that. And like certain things like they talked about the droppings from kaiju and stuff, like the lice and like what can happen and all this other stuff. They talked about this website, and so like they built this whole world around this movie before it ever came out. So when the movie came out, it felt exceptionally lived in, and it was wicked awesome. I loved it. I was super into the movie. Yeah, like I like the fact they did so much world building, and they did not, even if you went in there not knowing anything, you still like you left the movie. You felt really entertained. Like, you know, there's a couple little things that you might not have caught on to because it's for the super fans. But for the most part, you left the movie going, I watched an awesome robot fight movie. I don't care. This is great.
It was pretty darn fun. Yeah.
Yeah. The Danger looks so cool. Okay. But yeah. So Billy, you've been quiet. How you doing?
Well, I've been have to be quiet. Oh,
I know.
Do you have anything important to say about this?
I love the movie. I absolutely did. I didn't know what I was getting into in it because I never really watched or saw that website and anything like that. So I was like flying blind. But I liked it. I liked the different styles they had, the character development. Could care less for the sequel.
The sequel is
I enjoyed it. But
it's
I saw
not
that
bad.
before I've seen
it's
this
not
one,
bad.
So.
But if you saw Pacific Rim, the first one, before you saw the sequel, then you're going to be really mad about the sequel.
Yeah,
Be like,
you're going to get mad
what
about
happened? It's not the same director, different person.
But I don't know. I guess like the one good thing about it, I mean, the whole thing, honestly, the one thing I didn't like about it was the rain. It rained everywhere. But
sideways rain, up and down rain.
Up and down rain. There was rain coming.
Sometimes it rained both ways.
Nah. But what about you, Ben? What do you think, Ben? What is your takeaway and what you didn't like?
Well, no, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed. I think the CG of the Jaegers and the kaiju and the fight scenes were pretty cool. I thought the way they framed the shots, which Del Toro, he's like the master of framing of like monsters and stuff. But the again, like I mentioned it before, the Raleigh, his accent sometimes, and sometimes whenever he would be in the mask that they have to wear, you can clearly tell that he had a dove over himself. And it just a few little things that way. But that's about it. I think it did have a lot of characters in it. Some characters you cared about, some you don't, because like you mentioned Charlie Day, but we never really mentioned him like in the whole review of it. And he had a big part to do with it. Him and that other British guy who was in Torchwood.
He was in Torchwood. Yeah, I remember watching. I was like, "That's guy's from Torchwood."
He was in Dark Knight also. He always plays a bad guy. Like he's always just like this. He's like the same character every character he plays.
Yeah, he is further typecast. But yeah, like they weren't the main story. They were a subplot within the main story.
But it was a better subplot than like say with Godzilla versus Kong, whenever they had the kids and the
it's a good subplot. It's a great subplot, but it's just a subplot, and like you're there. So most people went to this movie expecting like one giant robot fight and like some terrible human interest story. No, we got 3 giant robot fights.
Oh yeah,
and 4 giant robot fights and some human interest story, and it's great.
It was a balance. Like it was a good balance of everything.
They did a really good balance. I wasn't expecting to get 4 fights out of this movie, and it was really cool. And Charlie Day and the other guy, the other scientist, they weren't super important, but the subplot itself ran the end of the story. It all came together. It took separate paths, and it all came back together. And it's a really well told story, and it's not super complicated. It's not. There's a couple little things like, when the movie first came out, I was like, why don't they just use a sword for everything? Like how it should end it was like, yeah, he should just sit at the rift and just keep using the sword to kill everything. I'm like, that's not how that works. Like there's Kaiju Blue, like it's going to destroy everything it touches. So
because they learn from, hey, they keep doing this. Let's, it's like another movie reference, not Dark Knight, but it was Batman Begins, when Gordon's like, well, if we start using handguns, they start using semi-automatics. If we start using, so they learn and they grow their technology based off of what they learned from us. So,
and so it's a fairly smart movie. It's simple but smart, and I like it. And they never treat anyone as a dumb audience member. Like they're like, you're gonna understand this. We know you can understand.
Yeah, they break it down really well.
But they don't spoon feed it to you. They don't hold your hand the entire time. They give you the real quick rundown at the beginning of the movie, and then you're into the movie, and you're into this world, and you're into like Jaegers exist.
I will have to say though, like the side story with the Charlie Day's character and who was Hellboy again?
Hannibal.
Yeah.
And the guy from Blade 2 shows up there too.
Yeah, he's like the guy in the front of the store. I noticed that too. I'm like, But
wait.
like that kind of, in my opinion, like this is a knock too. That kind of like takes you out of like it just feels like different. Because it seems like it's shot different. Those are like more light,
Personal.
Well, sometimes there's more comedy in those shots too,
Yeah.
but it just from the aesthetic of everything else that's going on, it is kind of takes you out a little
Well,
bit.
there's also
But
a lot
it's
more
not
color
bad,
too.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
like, you get more color. You get to see the like the dead kaiju a lot more up close, and you can
Yeah.
see like how the black market operates as well, which is really cool. I like that. You see how this like the black market operates and how they can pillage and like take all these parts from these kaiju's and whatnot. And I think it's shot really well because it contrasts really well with the other big stuff. Like you see these humongous giant robot fights and all this military s stuff within the Shadow Domes, and then you get like this kind of comedy bits where it's like, haha, wait, I don't know if I should laugh or be like scared because this is contrasting really weird with the rest of it, but it's different, and I think it's I want to call it's like an intermission because it happens between giant monster fights. So I think it's your intermission, so you're not overblown by these like giant monster fights.
I
So
could see that.
I think that's what that is. Like, oh, okay, wait. So it's really well done. I like it. Yeah. And then you got more color, and Hannibal's great. It's Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad role. I don't think I've ever seen him in a bad role. Even in Sons of Anarchy, he was a lot of fun in Sons of Anarchy, Hellboy 1 and 2. What other show did I watch him in? He was in he's done a lot of voice acting stuff now because he's getting a little older. He's like 74, 75. He's up there, yeah. Like you're like, nah. And he's willing to go and finish the Hellboy trilogy. He wants to finish it. He's like, I'll get back in shape. Let's do this.
Well, they should have done that to begin with. I haven't seen the new Hellboy, but like I know like it just did not look.
If you're a comic book fan, it's a lot of fun. If you're a comic book fan for Hellboy, if you're not, you're gonna be completely lost. I'm gonna leave it like that.
Ew.
Yeah. So, but they made a sequel to this movie that is kind of like they took the story. Like Del Toro did not want to do a sequel to this movie at all. He's like, this movie is done. Like, it's done. We killed the enemy. It's done. Everything's over with. Voila, Jaegers are gone. There's nothing left. It's done. Studios are like, we're making a sequel.
Money.
Yeah.
You guys made a lot of money. We want more of that. And
definitely didn't agree.
Del Toro's like, I'm not touching this. And so the director for the sequel was not Del Toro at all. It was not him. And so the sequel has a completely different vibe. Everything's shot completely differently. Nothing has that feel.
It's kind of a different feel. It's a more
it feels like you're watching an anime, to be fair with you. It really does. It feels like you're watching a giant robot fighting anime.
Well, and you can tell that it was made quicker. Like the script was probably written a little bit quicker because they were just trying to push it out as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it because it had the stuff that I enjoyed in it. But it's a lot of times the emotion that they put in a first one, you can't really replicate in the second one, and you try.
No.
And then sometimes you try to bring in these actors that are maybe big young name actors.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work. Even if they're good actors, it's just
it doesn't feel right.
Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Like I liked it. But yeah,
it's fine. It's just going from Pacific Rim to Pacific Rim Uprising. It's just like if you go in not watching Pacific Rim, it's a fine movie. You go in after watching Pacific Rim, you're like, what happened? Like the first one was awesome. What happened with this? It should not be this bad. But yeah, that's just that is. So, oh well. But yeah. So Del Toro went on to do after this movie, he went on to do a couple other movies as well.
Well, he was going to do The Hobbit. He was, and you can tell his influence in The Hobbit because a lot of the stuff just kind of feels Del Toro-y, but he had to pull out, and then so Peter Jackson decided to direct it.
Yep. He went on from Pacific Rim to do, I believe, Hellboy 2. Oh, he did.
Hellboy 2 came out before this.
The Strain. He started working The Strain, and then the next movie he did right after that was Crimson Peak and Shape of Water. This is next movies.
Oh.
And Shape of Water was super weird and really good, but it was fun.
Really weird with the girl falling in love with the
that's the weird part. Yeah, but he also has a new Pinocchio movie coming out on Netflix, which looks really good because they made a other one with Pauly Shore in it as like a cash grab. With Pauly Shore in it, and but he did Hellboy 1 and 2, Pan's Labyrinth, Blade 2. And there's another movie he did. Like one of his first movies he ever worked on was called Chronos, which was really, really cool. It was like a time travel-ish movie, but it required you to be stabbed in the hand to do it. Weird, I know, but it's super weird. I like it, and he's always done really good practical effects. So he did this one movie called Mimic, I believe. No, Devil's Backbone. Devil's Backbone. He did this movie, and so they had these practical effects for the ghost. So they would film in location for where the ghost want the ghost to be, and then they would overlay that into the actual scene as a practical effect into the scene. So all the ghosts looked real. Yeah, like there was no CGI dealt with it, so it looked really, really good. And it came out like 95, and it still looked amazing. Like 95, 96 looked great. Yeah, so. That's what he's working on. Good stuff. And then everyone else in the movie, like Idris Elba, went on to do, Idris Elba things because Idris Elba's Idris Elba.
I'll just say I watch almost any movie he's in because I just love his characters.
Well, he's got that movie coming out in a few weeks where he takes his daughters on this safari, and then this lion is just like killing people for fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but that's coming out, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. That's be fun. To be fair, I thoroughly enjoy anything he just was in, and
he's great.
When he played Word looking for. Yeah, it's like Nickelodeon. The guy in Thor.
Heimdall.
Yeah, when he played him, that was great. Like, he did a good job with that, and I'll tell you one thing: those old eyes contrasted super well with his skin tone, and it just looked great. And on top of that, he's a great actor, and so everything worked really well. And I was like,
but he hated doing that role because of all the makeup and stuff he had to do. Like, I was surprised that he actually played that role for 3 movies and then a piece in because. From what it really he really hated doing that role.
Well, he was committed.
He had to, contractually, he had to. So
no, I don't think for the 4th one. I don't think he was contractually obligated for the 4th one. But he wanted to end the character with it, and that's why he died.
He had to kill him. Yeah.
He died. He died. Yeah. So, but Idris Elba's Idris Elba, and there's a show he's in called Luther.
Luther on BBC. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but.
It's really good. It's a very good cop drama, psychotic cop drama, and it was really where he got his start at, and it shows. You can see the little missteps he has, but by the end of the series, he's Idris Elba. It's on point, and that's all I gotta say about Idris Elba. He's a good actor. All right, but everyone else kind of just did everything their own thing. So. They're the only big names came from the movie that still doing stuff or stuff I recognize off the top of my head.
Yeah, he's the only one that's a big A-list actor.
Oh, I will say this: there's that speech that Idris Elba gives, so it's Pentecost speech, we will not go quietly into the night, we will fight. Yeah, this stupid speech, but out of his mouth, it sounds gorgeous.
Well, it was really short though, and it was really reminiscent of Independence Day. I'm like, hey, this is but it's a disaster movie too, I guess you could say. But I was like, man, that's the president right there.
Yeah, you're sitting there I've heard this speech before. Hold on. Hold up. But yeah, it's super short. It's you actually read the words that are said. It's very dumb. It's this is stupid. But coming out of Idris Elba, it just
He could have shouted the phone book and you'd be like, yes, I'm with you.
I don't know where. Yeah. I think he just started with the B's and the Yellow Pages, but I'm about to fight something.
Oh, and for our younger viewers, a phone book is a book with phone numbers in it because everybody's phone number used to be public.
Yes. And it was once a year. They would do it one a year.
Yeah.
And then they had white pages.
And you would have two of them too. You would get one for businesses and one for people.
You get a white pages and you get a yellow pages.
And then you'll get they did it all in one.
Yep.
And we are
showing our age. You had ads in there too. There was ads in it. And then they used to do photo competitions. So people would have photo competitions to go onto it.
That's why if you see older companies, that's if you see an older company with like 2 A's in the beginning of their name, it's because if you had 1 A, it was flooded. So if you put 2 A's, you would pop up first.
Yeah, you're at the top of the name. Yeah,
the top of the list.
Yeah. And that's how the T-800 was able to find Sarah Connor, but he killed the wrong Sarah Connors first. She got lucky that her middle name starts with the letter later than those other two.
That's right. That's right. And if you ever and don't worry, a telephone is what's in your pocket. That's what your cell phone was supposed to be.
Wall. Actually, that was before.
There used to be a cord attached to it.
When we were kids, that used to rotate when you press the number.
There used to be a thing called phone booths. You might have seen it in a Superman movie or a joke about Superman. Yeah, those existed at one point. That was
every time I'm at a gas station and it has a payphone, I take a picture of it.
It's so confusing. Was that a payphone?
Is that a payphone?
Yeah, man.
I was like, nope. Here's my $700 payphone. Though, I'll tell you that.
And computer.
And computer.
It's more powerful than most the first 12.5 space shuttles. Yeah, combined.
Wow, nice. Yeah. That's
space. All right, Ben.
All right, so
what are we at?
What are we at? I don't know. What are we at?
I think we're all at old as dirt.
Yeah, we're all. We're at an hour for this. So we're gonna take that part to a close. So the reason, well, not the reason why. Like, I'm gonna have them on as guests. They've been my guests before, but the big reason this week why they are on my show is because this week they are celebrating. zeotohero is celebrating their 1 year anniversary on August 5th.
We need party favors and like party hats on and like celebration. And to be fair, I thought you wanted us on because you actually liked us, not because it was.
Well, I did say I like you, and I didn't say that I like you. I said I have you on my show. Like, that happens because I like to have you on my show.
I feel attacked.
This week this week is special because Jacob had to back out, so I had to find a backup. So
damn,
Jay, I'm gonna go. He lives near me. I'm gonna go find him, and I'm gonna go fart in his general direction.
All right, the Knights of Near. But okay, so as of when this is out on the podcast, I might actually have to. Normally, I put the video and the podcast different, but I'm probably going to have to do these on the same exact day because as a thank you for the podcast listeners on my side, on their side, we are doing giveaways. So, giveaways. So, did we determine I guess the 5th would be the last day of the giveaway, right?
I believe so.
I would do this. I would do the 6th. Give it a day.
Because this will post probably on the 2nd. So 2nd. And we can take this little snippet for our TikTok and Instagrams and stuff. So it is a 3-way 4-prize giveaway.
4-way prize.
Well, one is 2.
Yeah.
3 giveaways. 4 prizes total.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to start this off, on my TikTok, actually, no, this is just a giveaway. So, eventually I want to get to 5,000. I will be doing a Lord Dracon Evo 3, so, giveaway once I hit 5,000 and some other stipulations. But, so You see this little pink ranger ninjetti? If you are on my TikTok, Baker Rangers, Benjamin Baker. Actually, we need to make this 1 minute, so maybe we need to. So we're doing a giveaway. Yeah, I don't know. We can just do whatever. But we're gonna give away. I'm gonna give away this. Billy, what is going to happen on zeotohero's Instagram?
So on our Instagram, we are going to give away. I was gonna do 2 different ones, but I was like, well, I might as well just bundle them together since they complement each other. We're gonna give away a legacy version of Psycho Blue and Psycho Red on our Instagram.
Nice.
And then we're gonna do one on Discord as well. We're gonna do a giveaway in Discord. So you gotta join Discord.
The Discord will be the Red Sentry from the Boom Studio comics.
Yep. So you got to join Discord. You have to verify and accept the rules of the Discord server, and then you'll see a giveaway channel, and you go sign up for the giveaway and the giveaway channel. And it's all going to close the same day, and then we're going to pick the winners and everything. It's you gotta go to discord.zeotohero.com, verify via the bot, and then accept the rules for the channels. And then voila, you get in the channel, you get to hang out and say hi to people and see who everyone is.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna do one more stipulation with it. You have to interact on the Discord a little bit. You gotta send at least 10 messages, I think it's gonna be. Send a couple messages, say hi, get involved. We're all friendly people, and we like to talk about nerdy stuff. Like, go in there, say Pacific Rim, see what happens. People are gonna lose their mind.
Yes. So
mostly me.
Yes. So my TikTok giveaway, I will pin the video. So you'd go to. It's probably going to be the first pinned video. Yes, the first pinned video. For that. So look out for that. Should be going today. If you're listening to this on the 2nd. So if it's after the 2nd, then go to that. If it's after the 6th, I'm sorry. It's too late.
If it's after the 6th, haha.
So how are you going to do that for Instagram, Mr. Billy?
So Instagram, I'm not too sure yet. We'll figure it out. But that one's going to be the Dino Fury Red Ranger I picked up. And
Wait, I thought it was the Psycho Red and Blue.
Oh. Actually,
you're adding more prizes.
I have an extra.
It's going to be a prize. Okay.
I got an extra one. So.
That's the one when I get 1,000 followers on TikTok, right?
No.
When you get 1,000, I don't know if you're gonna get 1,000.
I got like 30. I don't care for TikTok. They're all bots, and I just do promotional materials for the show.
Yeah.
That's all I.
So the only thing I think of is
we can do a pen post on Instagram about it, and then you have to follow and like
tag
the post.
2 people.
All right,
follow and tag. Tag 2 people, and then we can pick out of there.
Tag you're it.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah. So that's happening. So thank you guys again. I know you kind of already mentioned your Instagram and your Discord, but could you let maybe some of my listeners that don't listen to you, I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 out there.
All right, Billy.
Let them know what you guys are about and what.
All right, it's nopersonalplugs.com.
It redirects to our actual zeotohero.com.
Our whole website's great.
We are basically a nerd podcast. Power Rangers we were formed out of Power Rangers, but we talk about pretty much anything out there.
Embarrassing text messages, Gundams, anime, Power Rangers, and more embarrassing text messages. Soup Isles, that's a weird one that came up in conversation.
Soup Isle, yeah.
The Soup Isle dancers.
we do everything. Anything under the nerddom. We talk to cosplayers, fan fiction. I mean, if it's out there, we kind of cover it all with everybody. Voice
actors.
We come in contact with some of the coolest people we've ever met through it. And definitely check us out. We're pretty fun.
Ben, don't point at yourself.
Yeah, come on, Ben. Stop pointing at yourself.
No,
but I'm pretty cool.
We have a knack of being back and forth pretty well with each other. We have silly comments, and I do all the editing for the show. So if you like the show, come say hi to me because I do all the editing for our show. I've helped Ben do his editing for his show and stuff. And we are the head of the zeotohero network. So we have other people along with our show. So we have the main podcast. bakerrangers is part of the show, as part of the network. We have Cosplay Dude 637, Iron Avenger. We have Sam.
She just her own category.
Pterodactyl, yeah. And Neon Lights is another person we have going on with us. So yeah, the website has all of us there. Come check us out, say hi, and check out our merch shop too. Like we got actual shirts. Ben's wearing one right now. And it looks real snazzy.
It does. It's a lot better than my shirts. I do have a store, and I think it's linked in the thing, but dude, just do not go to it right now. I'm going to be overhauling some of that pretty soon.
Yeah.
So.
Besides that, though, nopersonalplugs.com takes us right to the website.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, enjoy yourselves. I got nothing left. You guys got anything else? Nothing? Good? Cool?
All right. So thank you guys for listening. I gotta thank them first for listening and watching.
Yeah.
Golly.
Don't say thank you.
No, I know you got to get it. No, thank you. Thank you for watching. And it's actually right there below, right? I got to scroll. It just says thank you for watching this episode of Movie Talk.
You are really trying to be this super nice person to your fans.
Those were, well, I could say some things, but I don't want to. No, I'm joking. So thank you guys again. And in the immortal words of Zordon.
Come at me, bro.
There you go.
If you enjoy what you're listening to from the Baker Ranger and all his technical problems, but sometimes they're mine because I mute the site or something.
Why is it on fire? Why is it on fire? It shouldn't be on fire. Why is it on fire?
I don't know, but you might like to see his other stuff on the zeotohero network. Also, catch him on YouTube and Facebook to see his weekly Nerdiverses and also see what else he's coming out with in the near future.
I swear to Jeebus!